Show here today at Lion Rose SA Football Weekly. And again, folks, thanks again for coming out. Let's give yourselves a round of applause for showing up this morning as well as supporting these young men as we now have time for our most valuable player. We've given out Coach of the Year. We've given out Newcomer of the Year, Lineman of the Year, Offensive Player of the Year, Defensive Player of the Year, and now the guy that never leaves the field. I'd say and it's funny because Caden, when we were talking to Caden, we asked him about playing receiver a little bit, and he said, you know, it's tiring. I mean, I'm out there a lot playing receiver and defensive back, and he didn't do it full time, but the young man sitting in front of us did, and I've got a couple of stories on him when we can continue on. But ladies and gentlemen, we want to introduce to you from the 14-1 state semifinalists, Navarro Panthers, our most valuable player of the year, Jake Wright. He's a linebacker and running back. He plays both sides of the ball. And Jake, congratulations again for being our most valuable player. And I talked to Coach Goad this week. And I talked to several other folks out at Navarro, and they said, we have a good team, but we're a lot better when Jake is on the field. What does that mean to you, being a part of that program for 4 years and getting to play both sides of the ball on a state semifinal team?
It's awesome. I love it. The guys are great to be around. They get me better every day, and I'm just trying to do the best for them.
Listen to this stat, folks. Jake was the leading rusher for Navarro. He had 1,174 yards rushing. That's 6.3 yards per carry. 18 touchdowns. Jared got you on the touchdowns, by the way. I know Jared got 20, but
he's beast.
Jake had 18 touchdowns, and he was also third on the team in tackles. So to be statistically the top guy, or the top three on both sides of the ball,
it's ridiculous.
It's crazy. How do you play a whole game without just dying out there?
It's tiring for sure, but I got Coach Go yelling at me in my ear, so
that'll motivate you.
Yeah, he'll get me out there pretty good. So.
I mean, what do you play any other sports, basketball or anything?
I do baseball and I did powerlifting last year.
Okay. Well, did you get with Joseph on any powerlifting
tests?
I saw can you squat 980?
Oh heck,
or 930?
He probably benches what I squat.
Do you bring a linebacker mentality to running back?
Oh, for sure.
Do you hunt contact?
Oh yeah.
I mean, I did one game this year, the one that we thought was going to be in Marion.
Yeah.
And it turned out to be in Geronimo.
Yeah, our broadcaster we showed up in Marion. Bad idea.
I set land speed records getting there, but number one, you guys score a ridiculous amount of points. I think that night it was 70.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't give up any points. But I mean, you hunt contact when you're running the football.
For sure. I don't like going to the sideline and just running out of bounds. It ain't fun.
The Walter Payton style is not running out of bounds. That's quite a combination, running back and linebacker. I mean, at practice, you have to jump between working with the offense and the defense.
How do you do that? Do you have offensive days, defensive days, or do you combine in both every practice?
Every practice we do both of them. Like we'll have half of practice we do offense, and then half of practice we do defense, and then JV helps us out with fun team and all that.
It's pretty amazing that to be a two-way player at a very high level on a team that went all the way to the state semifinals. But when you're in Class 4A, if you're a good athlete, there's usually not 22 guys that can just flat out play at that level. So, I mean, it's kind of fun, though, at the same time, right? I mean, we know Caden's a great athlete, Josh, all these guys are great athletes, but they're at these bigger schools where they have a lot of depth. How much fun? I mean, do you feel blessed sometimes to having played at a smaller program where you get to play the full game?
Yeah, I'm definitely blessed to be able to play, for sure, on both sides of the ball. It's fun, but it also gets really tiring every now and then. You really want to come out, but just gotta stay in there and hang tough.
Do you prefer offense or defense?
Defense for sure.
You like hitting. See,
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I asked you. You go hunting contact, you've got to be someone who loves it.
Well, you also, like Joseph, Joseph's at a smaller school at Holy Cross, but he got to play in the All-Star game last night. You did too. Josh Atkins played in the game, and what did you think of the talent around the area when you got to meet all these guys in All-Star Week?
I was kind of nervous, honestly. All those guys are a lot bigger than me, so it was really fun. I learned a lot, and the game was fun. I loved the game. Everybody was pumped up, ready to go. It was awesome.
Did you feel like you were able to hang good with everybody? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
Or, like Joseph said, it was pretty humbling because at Holy Cross, generally he's really dominant, and all of a sudden there's guys that can stand up to you.
Yeah, you gotta have a few more tricks up your sleeve, I think, when you play in a game like that. But yeah, it was awesome. It was fun. I learned quite a bit.
Well, let's talk about the season. Y'all, the last few years, was it 3 years in a row that
Cuero.
Cuero knocked y'all out of the playoffs?
Yeah.
And this year, your senior year, correct?
Yes, sir.
Unless Coach got a red shirt somewhere.
Right.
I bet you Goad would like it.
Yeah. You look smart enough not to have to repeat the senior year. So looks like
gosh.
you're going to be leaving, but you finally get over that hump. And God, what a great feeling that had to be.
Oh, it was awesome. That was like our main goal all season long. 2 days we were just thinking Cuero, and we gotta beat him. That was our goal that year, and we got it done. So
That's awesome.
That was here's my Jake Wright story. So, y'all were playing Cuero, and it was a really physical, tough game, and they have a lot of athletes there. So it could have gone either way.
oh yeah.
And was it Weber? Who was the young man that had the pick six?
Weaver.
Weaver, I'm sorry. Weaver. He had a kick return and a pick six that really kind of separated the game. But I remember, it was tough going. They have several D1s on their defense and big guys up there, and you're just trying to ramrod that ball, just boom, 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 and you're getting hammered. I mean, these guys are hitting you. And I remember one of them got you down low on your knee, and you hobbled off the field. Probably reluctantly, but you had to come out. And then they went down to me on the sidelines. I said, "Well, I don't think Jake may be done. I mean, he looked pretty banged up there." Next defensive series, Jake's back out on the field. Cuero goes right at him, I think 2 times in a row, and you stopped him for losses on both of the play. How dare they challenge you like that? Do you remember that? I mean, you weren't 100% in that game, but how do you keep playing at that level even though you're not 100% with your body?
Well, I just think about my guys, and like I got to be out there for them. So I keep pushing myself to the limit and try to help my teammates out any way I can.
Were you hurt in that game?
I was definitely hurt in that game. That game was rough. A lot of the boys are a lot bigger, so.
Pretty amazing.
Well, if I remember correctly, the West Orange Start game was in NRG Stadium.
Yeah.
How was that experience? I mean,
it was-
you come from small town Geronimo, and then you go into a stadium that holds more people than your entire city has.
Times 20.
Times 20, yeah. I mean, that had to be, you're in the locker rooms where the Texans, play or get ready for their games. Talk about that experience.
It was crazy. It was a lot louder for sure. I thought it was going to be real quiet because we weren't going to have as many people in the dome, but it was definitely a lot louder. The locker room was awesome. All the guys were like just in awe about the whole thing. And it was cool.
Those guys are tough, the pros. They go into these posh locker rooms, and
Their locker room was an upgrade from Navarro's.
Oh, for sure.
I can imagine you walk out there and you say, "We're not in Geronimo anymore." But what I love was when y'all score a touchdown, you hear that call at Geronimo.
Yeah, that's awesome. And the West Orange Start game, obviously,
They were good.
that was a team that won the state championship the year
Convincingly.
before and
Had
returned
everybody.
20
Yeah, something
of
the whole
22.
team.
I mean, oh my goodness. And how was it? Their team speed had to be ridiculous. I mean, that's just one of those that you got to sit back and say, I'm
They're good.
at that. They're good.
Yeah, it felt like every one of their linemen was as fast as our fastest guy. It was nuts.
That number 59.
That was a big old boy.
That was a dude. He's going to UTSC. I can't remember his name, but that
That
was
was
a good.
59? Yeah.
That's a good recruit.
Yeah,
Well,
thank
speaking of recruiting, you got a long frame. You're not real heavy right now, but you're solid. So I'm guessing that you have some growing to do still.
I hope so.
If you hit the weight room, do you want to play college football? And if so, do you feel like you're going to get that opportunity?
I definitely do want to play college football. Maybe I'll go walk on somewhere or something. I haven't really gotten any offers yet. So,
And you're a baseball guy
yes, sir.
as well, so there's an opportunity there as well.
Yes, sir.
It's got to be awesome being everyone knows you in Geronimo, and probably it's a game too. I mean, in a small school like that, it's a great setting, isn't it? Where you kind of know everyone, don't you?
Yeah, it's awesome. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody loves everybody. It's awesome.
Well, you guys had a tremendous season. You had a tremendous season. I was so impressed in that game, the way that you sucked it up and played, even though it was hard to play. One last story on the Cuero game, and this is a true story too. I'm down on the sidelines. Several of your
Do
guys.
you have to disclaim it with this is a true story? Do you
This is a
always
true story.
Come on here.
Yeah,
and
I'm not
tell
making.
true stories?
I sometimes. But I have to disclaim when they're truths.
Okay.
Most of it is BS. But,
Okay.
but there's some truth in there somewhere.
Understood.
Some of your guys were so exhausted and so emotional, they were literally throwing up on the field. I remember that. I was like, whoa. It's y'all. You left it all out on the field that game.
Literally.
Yeah.
Were you one of the guys? You weren't throwing up after the
I
game.
wasn't
All right,
throwing up
all right.
after the game.
I did see several of your players. I'm like, my God, they spent themselves.
Oh, yeah.
It took everything out of you to do what you did.
They were a heck of a team.
4 years of frustration. 4 years of frustration. They got over that hump.
Well, we asked Josh about Coach Larry Hill. Final question for him. I get the feeling, just sitting around Coach Goad, because his jaw's always clenched. He's got a, I'm thinking he is one of those dudes that will light you up in practice if you do the wrong thing, and he's probably a tough type of disciplinarian. That's my outside. I haven't watched one of your practices, so I can't tell you for sure, but I get the feeling that Coach Goad makes sure that everybody's going hard.
Oh, yeah. He's pretty intense. He'll get in your face if he has to. He's gotten in my face a couple times.
But I bet you love him for it.
I do. He's made me better, and that's all I can ask for.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, we want to tell you our most valuable player this year, two-way star from a state semifinal Navarro Panther team, Jake Wright. Congratulations, Jake. All right, now we need to get all the guys together for a picture. We'll take a break and be back with more SA Football Weekly on the Texas Sports.